You're listening to the Health and Happiness Podcast with Travis Kemper and
Lauryn Maxwell. Each episode, we share easy-to-implement strategies to improve your health, happiness, and overall quality of life. When your life brings you down, your hobbies bring you up. Unknown. How's it going, Travis? What have you been up to this last week?
Oh, all the fun stuff with unpacking.
Lots more moving stuff.
Moving brings. Yeah, we were cleaning our old apartment today, and I broke down after 3 hours. So I was like, I'm done. I'm hiring somebody to clean this crap for me.
Nice.
Too old to be wiping walls.
Too old. Ugh, yes. Once you get over 30, it's just all downhill from there.
No, it's all uphill. I'm just too old to not be paying somebody else to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made that decision. It probably made your life a lot better, or at least your day.
Oh, I was so happy.
Mm-hmm.
So she's probably there now, cleaning it.
Nice.
Yeah, I paid my wife. I told her I'd give her $5, and I left.
No, you did not. Oh my gosh.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. That would be very bad for our relationship.
Yeah.
Anyway, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. I got to do my favorite thing yesterday, which was dance.
Nice.
I got to practice my social swing again. I got some tips from somebody who's been doing it for a lot longer, which was really cool because I feel like I got a little bit better. Yeah, that's cool. Kind of the highlight of my week.
Awesome. Well, what are your hobbies, Lauryn?
Well, dance is definitely one of them. I feel like I have a lot at this point in my life. I love to dance. I love to write. I love to go hiking. I love to exercise. I love to just chat with my friends. I love to podcast. What are your hobbies?
Well, I guess I should add podcasting to my list. But I was going to say hiking, exercising, investing, and learning. Yeah. So today, you came up with this idea. I'm not taking any credit. Yeah. So today, we're going to talk about hobbies and how they affect your life and your happiness.
Yeah, which is a fun topic. I'm excited. It is. I think this is the first topic I pitched. Travis is usually like the brains and the genius behind all of the topics, and this one I came up with.
It's mostly because of that confidence thing. I have a lot.
You have more than I do, for sure.
I have a lot. And yeah, you're like, hey, I think this could be an okay idea.
We don't have to do it though. I just thought about it. That's how I pitched it. We don't have to do it. I just thought of this idea. We don't have to do it at all. We don't have to do it today. But here's the idea. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was a great idea. So I'm gonna let you jump right in, Miss Confidence.
We're gonna jump right in. So there was one study that showed that people who engage in hobbies enjoy better moods, feel more interested, aka less bored. So you're less likely to go do things that maybe aren't so good for you. They have less stress overall. They have lower heart rates. And this is true during the hobby, during your active participation in your hobby, and even hours after your hobby. This study also showed that hobbies can sharpen your ability to problem solve in other areas of your life, which is always a really great skill. And then sometimes they can even spin off into unexpected skills, like how our podcasting kind of became something we were interested in, like your hobby of learning. And I guess that's kind of my hobby too. And helping people turned into this whole new kind of pathway and journey for us, which is a really awesome thing.
Yeah. And to build on that with the hobby research, there's a study that looked at observational data from residents aged greater than 65 who were at increased risk of death and increased risk of physical decline in their ability to do activities of daily living. what they looked at was patients who said that they had a purpose in life or hobbies or hobbies. And what they found is that patients that said that they did not have hobbies or a purpose in life had a significantly increased risk of mortality and decline in their abilities to do activities of daily life, like showering, cooking, cleaning, the stuff that you have to do each and every day,
Mm.
just to get by. Basically, this shows that hobbies and purpose of life may extend not only longevity, but also healthy life expectancy among older adults and increased quality of life while you're still alive.
That's awesome. So we found a longevity study. I know it's one of your favorite topics.
Yes, I like to see, but they didn't give me a percentage of how, how much more likely people were to die or not die.
Yeah. How
These
dare they?
researchers really need to step up their game.
They really need to know what you're looking for when you read these articles. Do better, right, researchers.
I know. Come on now.
There's another study that was looking at, or they surveyed 851 elderly people over the age of 60, and tried to see if there was any correlation between having hobbies and mental health. So they surveyed all of these people, asked them if they had hobbies that they actively participated in or not. Some of the most common hobbies that were reported included watching TV, walking regularly, physical exercise, and playing cards. And the study showed that those who had hobbies and interests that they actively participated in were 50% less likely to have a mental illness compared to those who did not participate in hobbies, which I thought was a pretty good stat.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what it would be if they cut out the watching TV.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like watching TV is generally going to be a great hobby.
I agree.
Based on my patience.
Yeah, I think that's a valid question, especially because the other three that this study found, walking, physical exercise, and playing cards, they're all either helping you physically or they're helping you mentally, like cognitively.
Right.
Because playing cards is a great like cognitive activity.
Especially if you're in Vegas losing thousands of dollars a day.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind. But yeah, I feel like watching TV is like really kind of the outlier in that one. Like I would be really interested to see what that number would be if,
I'm gonna
we
guess
took that one out.
I'm gonna guess it would be even higher, like 60 or 70%.
Yeah.
Illness. Anyway, so there's another study. Well, there's a little bit of a summary of a couple studies, but there's one of these studies I really like. So basically, these studies were looking at social prescribing, which was mental health counselors and physicians mostly telling patients with mental health issues, especially depression, to take up hobbies or leisure activities. They noted that hobbies provide sensual engagement, self-expression, creativity, and relaxation. And what they found is that there were lower depressive symptoms in patients with hobbies. So one of the studies that they looked at 8,780 participants who self-reported engagement in hobbies, and then they did a epidemiological studies depression scale. So this is a research-backed depression screening. And what they found was that the participants who self-reported that they engaged in hobbies were 30% less likely to experience depression. What they also found is that if a depressed person takes up a hobby while they are depressed, they are 272% more likely to recover from their depression, which is unreal.
Oh, that's wild. Holy cow. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. So I've been using this some in my practice for the last 4 years, just because I realized that like sitting in front of the TV and watching CNN or Fox News is not good for your health. And a lot of my patients were doing that with whichever their flavor of news was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we should talk about that in an episode coming up, because the news is really bad for your health, for
Mm-hmm.
your mental health, and which is really bad for your physical health. Anyway, so I've been trying to figure out what people liked in the past and get them back to it. So I've had patients where I encourage them to play the piano, or recently I have a guy that played the accordion every day, which I
That's
thought was
awesome.
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen an accordion before him, so I thought it was super cool.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get him back into the accordion. But I've been doing these things just because I know for myself, if I do things that make me happy, I'm a happier person.
Makes
And
sense.
a lot of my patients are depressed when I meet them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, I will admit that I have not been doing this enough, based on the
Based on that
number of
study,
depressed patients that I have, and this apparent 272% higher likelihood to get out of depression. I need to be doing this a lot more every week.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, what a great study. Nice job
Yeah.
finding that one. That's incredible. Like, that's such a great part of, like, great role that you get to play in people's lives as a physical therapist, is like, let's get you back in whatever shape you need to do to get back into your hobby. Because how motivating is that? Like, that's getting back to your like deeper why kind of a thing, back in, when we did our very first episode on resolutions. I just feel like that's makes things so much more powerful. um but
I
I
like
feel,
making people happier. It's fun.
yeah, I feel like that's why we do the jobs that we do.
Yeah.
You don't get into physical therapy to like make people's lives less happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Lauren, I remember a time in our relationship where you would not do hardly anything outside of study for school.
Eat, sleep, study. Yep. And sometimes not eat or sleep. So yeah, that was PT school. um, yeah. And I think that's part of why I came up with this idea, is because I know how horrible my existence was when I like didn't have hobbies. It was like, it's not a fun life. Because I had hobbies prior to PT school, and I just was like, I don't have time for them. I'm just not going to do them. Like, I didn't think about them. I didn't even like allow myself to like miss my hobbies, because I just like, I don't have time for that. There's no space in my life. I just studied and tried to get through PT school. And it's a pretty like miserable existence, to the point where like after 3 years of PT school, I came out the other side. And I remember somebody asking me, like, what are your hobbies? Like, that's a general question when you meet somebody for the first time. Like, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? And I was like, I don't know. This is really sad, but like, I like legitimately didn't know what I liked to do anymore. Because I just studied for 3 years. That's all I did. So it took some like serious introspection for like the first 6 months out of PT school of like, what do I actually like that's not related to PT? Um, and life has gotten a lot better since I started making time for hobbies and actively doing them. So I feel like I can definitely back up from a personal experience what a lot of these articles are talking about. I'm so much happier now that I do hobbies.
It's so weird how our PT school experiences were completely different.
They were
And
very
yet
different.
we ended up with this great friendship. Because I
We're very opposite.
I didn't do that at all. I found anything to distract me from PT school. I basically used travel therapy and researching travel therapy to get through PT school. That and tiny homes.
Yeah, you had a
And work.
much better balance, I feel like, than I did in those 3 years. Like you went hiking, and apparently you asked me to go hiking with you, and I said I didn't have time for that, which I don't remember, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, unlike a couple of weeks ago when I lied to you before about telling you about that study. This is true. I asked you to go hiking and you were like, "Nah, I can't do that." And I was like,
I don't have time.
"Okay."
You were like, Lauryn, we're in the same school. I know how much time you have.
Kind of, but I did not get as good of grades as you did. So, there's that.
Yeah, but was it worth it?
Oh, I'm perfectly happy with the way mine went.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, what I'm asking myself, was it worth it? Did I really need straight A's? Probably not.
After 3 years, they call us both doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. Should have had a better balance. Hindsight is 2020.
That's true. Anyway, enough making fun of Lauryn. Sorry, Lauryn. I love you. This week's challenge would be to think of something you used to enjoy or don't spend enough time doing and schedule that into your days this week, or at least one day this week. Schedule that in, do it, and see how you feel after. Just kind of take note. If you're journaling, maybe you write down in the journal, and then you come back to that if it made you feel better, which it probably will.
Probably will.
Yeah, come back to that and do it more often.
Yeah, that's a great challenge.
Well, this was fun.
This was really fun. Thank you, Trav, for being so confident in my own ability to come up with a topic.
It was a good topic.
Thank you. It was fun.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of the Health and Happiness Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode and are getting benefits from our content.
If your life is improving in part due to the information in this podcast, we would greatly appreciate you sharing the episode with your family and friends on social media and leaving us a review so we can continue to reach more people and improve the health and happiness of the community at large.
Thanks again, and we will see you next week for another episode of the Health and Happiness Podcast.